tonight's episode of Big Sexy Outdoors. Tonight will be Skip, Mike, Ben, and Chris. Good evening, guys. Thank you for joining us in Big Sexy Outdoors Indoors podcast. As you can see, with us tonight is our good old boys from Big Sexy Outdoors. I said old, not old. Skippy and Mike. Chris is here as always, and he'll pop in and out as we go. Tonight, as you can see by this beautiful, beautiful picture Chris put in the background, video Chris put in the background, tonight's episode we are going to do on salmon fishing. So anybody that can join us, thank you. We appreciate you. And let's get to it, man. So Skip, we're going to get right to this, man. First thing is, I looked up licenses tonight, fellas. I wanted to make sure we gave a true statement. 1 day license is 10. 1 day out of state was 10. 7 day was 50. And
I buy a year.
I know the year was I think 100, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So I did look them up tonight. I also double checked on quantities and limits. Skip or Chris, wrong point. Go for it.
Two things. One, I want to apologize. I had that sponsor video all fancied up and gussied up like a $3 hooker, but because I added interlock broadheads to it and everything, and I'll be gosh darned if I can find where the heck that is. But I'm looking for it just so I can show it. Speaking of intros.
I love those intros, Chris. We got to get them right off the bat. I love those intros. When that boys join us.
You do great work with them intros, Chris. The way you put them together.
I don't know. I think Skippy without a shirt on in the crick might have been a good one to add to that.
How about Skippy just does the show with his shirt off?
Yeah. Let's do that.
That's my favorite commercial.
I said about taking my shirt off, and Chris already left.
He was sick right off the bat. I went to
get some paper towels.
Oh my God!
I got allergies. I got to blow my nose. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. I thought that's what it was. So I love him.
Oh, tell him.
I did check licenses again. They have the 1, 7, and year, which is 10, 50, and 100. I also checked to see if the seasons, I call seasons bag limits, but your limit to catch is the same, and it's still 3 select species because I heard rumors they changed it to 1. That did not happen.
Nope.
And I am going to tell you that when I go salmon fishing, I start in Pulaski, New York. Skip, where do you go?
Pulaski, New York.
Mike?
Yeah, that's where I went. It's been a few years since I've been up, but that's where we went.
But I mean,
that seems to be the hot spot.
Well, I mean, I've done Oak Orchard, Pulaski. I mean, there's so many different rivers that run up through that the salmon will follow and stuff.
I'd like to hit up Erie sometime, but
for steelhead.
Yeah.
My brother used to go with the guy that went for steelhead out in Erie. He said they looked like sunnies. There were so many of them. He said they used to catch their limit in an hour and go. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But one thing I was really hoping to get into tonight and talk about was our setups, everybody's setups for salmon fishing. Now, I know everyone out there has a different fishing technique and style. And I think salmon fishing is no different. I will say that this time of year, they are coming up hard. If you're going to really catch one, I think that, your next couple of weeks is going to be the real deal for them to actually come up and smack the tar out of something, because they're just starting to come in, which means the eggs are starting to lay and they're starting to feed right off the back of them. It won't be long. You're going to start seeing steelhead and brown trout come in there, and they're going to, they want them eggs. They want to eat it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the steelhead will, as soon as the salmon start running, the steelhead will start funneling in right behind them.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Some people say, oh, it's weeks and, like late October, early November. I'm telling you, I've seen it this year already, just in videos in Pulaski where guys are already hammering steelheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big steelhead is awesome, but I want to catch a huge brown out of there. That's my.
And that's
I
your
could
chance.
care less about them salmon. I could care less. I want to catch a huge brown.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna just you and Mike talk for a little bit. I'm gonna find this picture of this brown my buddy caught when we were up, not last year, year before. I'm gonna send it to Chris, see if he can put it up.
All right. So, I have a couple different spots we go up there, and I really want to name every river and creek, because let's just say there's a lot that people know and don't know. So we have some really good spots that I don't like giving spots away. However, some of the rivers up there, you have your North Sandy, your South Sandy, you have your Salmon River, which that seems to be the most popular, right? I mean, that's seems to be where everybody goes, but that's also seems to be where the water's the highest and it moves the fastest. I don't know if you heard, but there's a huge fight up there. Two ladies were at it off the Salmon River Bridge this year.
There's always fights, dude.
Always.
And then that guy died.
Yeah, I'd seen that. He drowned.
Yeah, I met that guy like 4 times.
The one that drowned?
Yeah. Yeah, he hangs around that bridge. He's always there.
Oh, that's a shame. Did they say what happened?
Yeah, he jumped off the bridge again. Earlier that day, he jumped off the bridge. He does it all the time. He jumps off the bridge into the deep hole and comes up with a fish. Okay. Everybody laughs, giggles, and has fun about it. Well, later on that day, he jumped off the other side of the bridge, which was lower, and I guess smack bottom and drowned and died. And
wow,
that's a bummer, man. So those are the instances salmon fishing you want to prevent. Those are what you don't want to happen, right? I mean, let's not go up there to fist fight. Let's not go up there to cause havoc. Let's sure not go up there and not come back. No matter how fun we're having, So let's definitely remember that what we're doing and starting here. Jesus.
Enjoy yourself, have a good time, and that's what it's all about.
Too many people get caught up in wanting to kill each other over the dumbest stuff,
Yeah, it's a fish.
It's a fish, right? At the end of the day, making memories. I seen a post today. I'm in sports. I'm always watching up there, and I seen a post today that says, "Making memories is what it's all about." And it was the 2 little kids holding a salmon. And that's what it's about. It's not about everything else. Too many people get caught up in the dumb stuff. If a fish gets hooked on and it's running down the stream, pull your rod out. Let them have it. I mean, I don't know. I always say respect goes a long ways, and I'll always say that. Excuse me. And one thing I did want to talk about, start off tonight with, was our setups. I know everyone out there's got a different setup. And Skip, you're going up there. I know you're looking for something, but you're actually going up there here. You're going to be the first one of us to head up there and start fishing. So I figured I'm going to let you tell about your setup first, what you're using, how you're going.
Okay. I'll find this when we move on, but I'll find that picture of that brown trout. As setup, I only fly fish, so I only use a fly rod. Most of the people I go with, I think there's 1 or 2 guys that will use a fly rod. Most of them are spinning rod guys. But I run an 8-weight TFO and an Orvis Mirage 8-weight reel. But like my leaders for salmon and steelhead are the same leader. I use it's the only leader that I ever tie in fluorocarbon. Just for the simple fact is these fish are seeing line constantly. I mean, my boss was up last week with his daughter and he said you could throw your line in, and as soon as that line hit the water, the salmon just scattered. So they're already getting line shy. So fluorocarbon is about your best bet because it gets really transparent in the water, even if it's murkier water. The cleaner looking the water, the less likely they will see the fluorocarbon. But if it's if it's real dirty and green, you can get away with using like a mono line. But I always run fluoro for something. It's just what I use, and I only use Seagar line for salmon, just because there's guys that'll say no, Drennan's the best, and I like Seagar. It's really tough, and it's they can run it across the rocks and they ain't gonna snap real quick.
So if Seagar didn't exist, what would you be using?
Probably Drennan. I mean, Drennan's good line, but what you pay for like Seagar and Drennan, you don't get much on a spool. I tied 5 liters and went through a spool of 20 pound.
Really?
Because you only get, oh my God, on a big spool.
I think
on a big spool. Look at that spool. You only get 40 feet. That's it on that spool. 40.
I didn't know he could read, Chris. I was already in shock he was reading there. I wasn't sure what was going on.
It was in Braille.
Oh, well, you're feeling it.
I think Skip said he wants to make another 600 flies before he goes. So everybody get your orders in today.
Not happening.
He's done.
I am done. I had to sit and tie my own flies tonight. I was going to send Ben my order and say, hey, Ben, tie these.
Yeah, I would have tied them, but you'd have been screwed.
But I'll run. I mean, I look at it a perspective as from a trout to a salmon. Okay. So you're moving up your rod in weight. So you're moving up your line in weight. So I run 6 foot of 20 pound Seagar. Okay. For about 6 foot. And then I blood knot it. Well, double surgeon knot it onto a micro swivel.
Okay.
They're small swivels. But I leave my tag end hang. I don't cut it off. I leave that tag end on there.
Okay.
And I tie a knot in the very end of it. And then at the bottom of my swivel, these are 15 pound. So I'll run 3 foot of 15 pound Seagar, and I'll attach whatever weight I need on this tag end.
Oh, okay. You put your weight on there
so that your split shots ain't running down it, and you're not attached above it.
Okay.
So if you snap off, you're gonna snap off on that bottom part of that swivel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 9 chances out of 10, you snap off there. All you gotta do is retie like your tippet right back on, and you still got your tag end for your weight or whatever. But that's a standard. That's one of my standard leaders for salmon. I like them. I mean, I've had kings snap them off already, but I'll tie some here yet tonight or tomorrow, where I'll tie them in 25 pound with a 25 pound for 6 foot, and then 20 pound for 3 foot.
Now, what size fly you tying on that? Because man, I couldn't get any fly out of my box on that.
Well, that's where, I mean, some guys go nuts and they'll tie on size 8 hooks, 7 hooks, shark hooks.
We just talked about this.
So, okay, let's look at it from my perspective and Mike's perspective. Okay, so have you ever seen a size 20 fly?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever seen some of the big trout caught on a size 20 fly?
Yep.
Okay. So a salmon, no different. I don't run anything bigger than a size 10 hook. Nothing.
So my question to you is, how are you tying that 20-pound test? That's got to be
On a-
miserable. You got through the eye of that fly.
Not on a size 10. A
No?
10, a 10's got a nice big eyelid on it.
All right.
You got some
I'm
room.
thinking a size 10 and a size 20-pound test. I'm thinking that's got to be a tight fit.
No, not really. No.
Okay.
It works. I mean, it works nice. So
Yeah, my wheels were spinning. How's that fitting? But okay.
yeah. Well, I mean, you're looking at, a size 10 is they're still pretty big.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a size 10 is a big fly. I agree. I mean, you take a size 10 hooker, you put a night crawler on it and loop it 2 times. I mean, that's a big hook.
yeah, I mean, and I used these here the first year I'm using these. I mean, that's a size 10. I mean, that's a nice big hook on there. But this is the first year I'm using the Double Trouble lip splitters, extra heavy duty hook. I'm telling you, these things got meat to them.
They are.
These things,
Girth.
they are a thick hook. I mean, thick. And I mean, I have one here. Where is it? Right here.
Yeah, they're good hooks.
This here I kept this because it's usually I've had salmon snap them, but this is everybody that I used to fish with before. They'd be like, you got to buy octopus hooks. Octopus hooks, they're hard. They won't snap. But the problem with octopus hooks is they will straighten out.
I've had them straighten. That's actually what I use.
Yep.
I actually use an octopus hook. Yeah.
That's a size 10 octopus hook straightened right out.
Yeah, I've had that happen. They'll straighten that baby right out.
Yep. But
They ain't gonna straighten out the legs, the hook though.
Oh, I'm telling you, them lively leg freaking lip splitter, extra heavy duty, whatever the hell they are. I'm telling you, I can't believe how thick them hooks are.
Really? I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, you can only, I ordered them right from Lively Legs. But I mean, I don't know if I'll get it in the camera here. But the thickness on that hook.
It's a little fuzzy, but you can definitely tell it's thick.
Yeah.
Go towards your hat a little bit. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, they are thick and heavy duty. And I mean, there's already weight there. And these here, I put tungsten beads on, which really put weight on them. So it's less weight I got to put on to get that fly to bounce off the bottom a couple times.
Well, that's another thing I was getting at. I don't fly fish for salmon. I've just never done it. Not saying I don't want to, just saying I've never taken the time to do it. The guys I go with don't, and I've never done it. So that was my next question to you. If you're out there fly fishing for salmon, are you bouncing it off the bottom like a nymph?
Yep, you're just like nymph fishing. You're just casting it out
and just
letting it drift. Yep. Letting it drift, bringing it back, casting it out, letting it drift. That's all you do.
I like that idea. So that makes a lot of sense because that's what the eggs are doing when they come out. The eggs are bouncing off the bottom and floating.
Yep.
So,
and I mean, it depends on. I mean, it could be an argument for every day, but there's different articles and different perspectives on salmon. So
yeah, well,
salmon do not feed once they start spawning. There is, I read something years ago from some aquatic woman who tracks migration of salmon, and kings every once in a while will eat and a coho might eat. But like your kings are meant, the kings, females and males are meant to go upstream, breed and die. They go up, spawn and die. Cohos and your Atlantics, I think. I think I know Coho's one of them. Now they will return back. They'll go up and lay and return back. They'll go right back to the lakes.
Yeah, I've heard it's the kings that all die off.
Yeah, but
you know what I never understood in this is they're going to die anyway. What does it matter?
Good question. I have an answer for that.
Okay.
So a couple years ago, I almost got caught flossing. Okay, we'll use that word flossing because that's the word used, which here in good old PA we just call it snagging. And one of the warden asked me, he goes, I was like, no. He goes, well, it looked like it. And I said, well, what's the difference? Because these fish are just going to go up there and die. Well, I forget whatever journal it was wrote, that these fish have a right to spawn. So if everybody and their brothers just out there snagging them or reeling them in, your population of the returning fish numbers are going to be really low. So these fish have what they call a right to spawn. And you're not allowed to impede on that right by snagging them.
I makes sense. I'll give you that. At least makes some sense.
But it is New York, though. I mean,
men have a right to be women, and women have a right to be men. I guess fish get them too. I mean, let's be real here, right? It is 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not judging. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Honestly, I would have never looked at it that way. But I did hear somebody say about, well, what if it's a big brown and you snag that? I mean, that's, I agree. You don't want to do that. A lot of guys catch big browns and release them.
Well, yeah, most of the guys that catch like the brownies and the steelheads, if they're keeping them to eat them, they do that. If not, they strip the eggs out of them and put them back in the water anyways.
Right.
And it happens a lot when you're nymphing like that. I mean, it's not difficult to snag a fish. You know what I mean? It happens, but
and if I'm right, the law is, as long as, from what I've read,
got to be hooked in the mouth.
I didn't forget that. What did he put on there?
I don't know. It popped up and I lost it. So you lost me. That popped up and I read part of it and I was laughing because I wasn't sure if it was. Chris, send me that in text, please. But I'm done. Somebody else chime in. I'm done. He lost me. Chris killed me.
But like when they start spawning, they stop feeding, but they do get super aggressive. I mean, I watched videos of how what these salmon look like as they enter the river system and what happens to them as they go. I never realized, but like salmon have teeth like a regular trout. Once they start spawning, they start growing humongous. I mean, they look like
I've seen the articles on that.
Because they grow them for defensive, because they'll attack another fish or anything that's interfering with their spawning. And that's when you get guys that, granted, you might have a salmon that did feed. I mean, kings will feed every once in a while, but 9 chances out of 10, they stop feeding as soon as they hit that fresh water. Yeah, there you go.
Now, I got a question. Doesn't that still affect the spawning process? I thought they have a right to spawn.
What?
Think about what you're saying. You said they come up and they hit during the spawning process.
Right.
As a protective mechanism, so they never finish spawning. So what happens to their right? So what does it matter if I snag them or it doesn't matter if I go back to the 35-year-old method, I throw a treble hook over its back or I catch it in the mouth. If I still interrupted its spawning, I still did it.
I don't live in New York, bud.
No, but I'm saying that I think that's where the controversy lies, right? I mean, I understand it. It makes sense. What you said makes sense.
Yep.
But the controversy to me is right.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, you use a fly rod. What do you do different when you go for salmon? Do you use salmon? Do you fly rod fish, or do you go up there with a rod and reel?
Just like I trout fish, just like nymphing. Yep. Just with
And
a much heavier rig. Yep, like an 8-9 weight, but just like I nymph fish for trout. Yep. Pretty simple.
I'm not laughing at you, Mike. Chris just pops in and he's swigging this Mountain Dew and he's kind of like smiling, giving this weird look. And I just keep thinking about that message that popped up, and I'm chuckling because I really don't know what it said, but I know it couldn't have been good.
Yeah,
I know Chris way too well.
So give me the typical start of this trip. Like you pack up, you leave, you get up. Like, what do you do? Where are you going?
I can't.
Well,
tell you.
I basically for
Favorite
me,
spot.
for me, I take a 4.5-hour drive. I pit stop about 4 times, and I head to Pulaski, New York. I believe I take 81 all the way up. Yeah, pretty well all the way up.
Yeah.
Get off of the Pulaski exit, and I go into Oswego usually. And then I head from us.
Oswego's a good place to fish too.
Yep, I normally head in Oswego, and I go out through there. Now, for me, I'm going to be straightforward. I try to avoid people. Okay, I want spawning salmon and less people. So I will sacrifice one for the other every time. I am not going out to Salmon River because I'm going to be the dude that throws you in. I'm just going to call out it. If you're being a jerk to me or my brother or my dad or somebody I went with, Skip, Mike, or Chris, you're probably going to go swimming. I'm probably going to be that guy, and we're going to be on video. Right? And I don't want to be that guy. I like being a nice guy. I like doing what I have to do to get through a day and having fun. I normally don't get upset with people unless, and then in an instance, I'm trying to have fun and someone's out to ruin it. And I feel like Salmon River is one of those places.
Yep.
So, and my bunch of trips to salmon fishing in New York, I have never been to the Salmon River. I've never even stepped foot in it.
Fish all the other tribs.
I fish every tributary that comes into it.
So, Mike, I'm not going to ask you where you go because apparently that's a no to do.
Well, we don't ask those questions here, Christopher. Those are no.
But
well, here,
do you guys hold on?
All right,
Sandy Creek's for try and catch some. They get a lot of nice brown trout in there too.
Where's that, Mike? Say that spot again.
Sandy.
Yeah, I love the North and South Sandy. Those are my two favorite spots.
So do you guys camp there or do you hotel it up?
It depends, but normally for me, I will rent a hotel. I'll book it in advance. If you don't book a hotel early enough, you're not getting there.
Yeah, the guys I go with, the day they leave is the day they book for the following year. As soon as our last day there, they're already booking for the following year.
Yeah. And if you have T-shirts as big as mine, you can put them up and you could probably sleep 5 guys under them.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, we camped out. We stayed, actually the last time I was up, it rained like mad and stuff. We stayed in my buddy's truck and stuff and cap and stuff. We emptied everything out, put it underneath the truck and just the back of the truck and in the cab. But yeah, mainly just camp out.
I have done that, Mike. I have done that. Slept in the back of the truck.
We're going up Thursday. Me and my boss are going up Thursday. We're camping out in the same place. Yeah, my boss. Hey, my boss is awesome, bud. He didn't save my life, but he is a good boss.
Now, so you usually go up, stay either hotels, you'll camp for how long do you go?
See, that's another thing everybody will disagree. I'm a day guy to 3 days.
Well, I'll be up 6.
I'm a weekend warrior.
No way. You won't catch me during the weekend.
Well, I mean, like my days off. They're either 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, we're going up Thursday. We're going up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday's our last day.
And I won't say you won't catch me on a weekend, Chris. I don't want to say it like that because I will be, but I standardly spend one of my days, whether it be a Friday or a Monday, I spend one day that I attempt to go up there without having any, minimal people. If I had to tell your best day to go to New York salmon fishing on a 1-day trip, you guys are going to laugh at me. I tell you a Wednesday. Because usually people are in between then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And
You're in the middle.
I mean, holy cow, the last, oh my God, probably the beginning of September, it started already. I mean, hundreds of people up there. I mean, they're at the trestle. I mean, there was already freaking, I don't know, 13 different fights, and that they all started fishing in the trestle.
By the way, they're on YouTube. I was watching them.
Yeah.
They're on YouTube anyway. Once to see them, there's 2 chicks duking it out on a bridge. So check that out. I'll help them get views. It was awesome.
The first week of September, there were guys. I mean, there was some salmon already gone up through.
Yeah,
they aren't running hard. Everything I'm watching right now, they're not running hard. They're just coming into, and they're starting to go into the tributaries. So the places I fished are just starting to touch now.
Yeah, we're hoping that
he was up, and they just came back. I think 2 days ago. They said the lower ends, like they're just starting to stack up really good.
Yeah, so you're looking a few weeks. I would say by the talk, because in my opinion, Chris, I know we're kind of off subject, but you get two good runs for salmon, in my opinion. In the years I've been going up, you get 2 really good runs. And what causes them runs is weather and rain. So anytime the temperature drops in that water or it starts to rise, them fish are like, baby, I got this. And look out, because they're moving.
So
we're hoping we hit it good while we're up there, because
they
got rain. They got rain last night. They're getting rain tonight.
Well, they're going to be getting a Skippler Twistler coming through there.
Yeah.
That's going to be taking them out.
Wednesday and Thursday they're getting rain, so I'm hoping we up there and really get into them.
Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No, my other question was this. From our last conversations, you guys don't keep when you trout fish. Do you keep when you salmon?
Nope, I don't.
Skip, I need you to keep some, because I don't know if I'm making it up this year. Seriously, I don't know if I'm making it up. I need you to keep a couple for me.
The only thing I would ever keep would be a coho or an Atlantic.
Actually, what I call Kamala is the coho.
But the coho?
He didn't just say that.
Yeah.
There we go. A salmon cannon.
Yep.
Holy moly, that's awesome.
I kind of want to ride one. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of jealous and wish I was a salmon. Yeah, that's how they should stock trout around here. They can stock 6 miles downstream.
Yeah. So what about you, Mike? Do you keep?
No.
Oh, now what's the reason for not keeping, since you guys know they're going to go up and die anyway?
Some of the guys I fished with years ago and stuff, they did, but I never did.
I keep them.
I just like them.
I mean, the guys I fish with, they'll keep the cohos, but other than that,
You want to hear something funny though, Chris? I don't eat them.
Really? Because I heard salmon is actually pretty good. I don't eat fish.
I keep them and I don't eat them. I know a lot of people who do. I have a lot of people
salmon,
who beg me to keep them.
Good. Yeah.
Here's another one. I'm going to give a little hint here, kind of off track. Do you know salmon is great for trapping?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Just a little hint out there for you guys, because it smells terrible. And
well, Cat likes to get salmon and stuff when we go out to eat, and like it'll be on a cedar plank and all this other stuff. So that's why I was wondering. Like I said, if these things are going up there to die anyway, and I get why you let the trout go, because you catch them again and again and again. But if these are going to go up and die anyway, you'll never catch them again. Why not keep them?
Nobody eats them. None of us eat them. I keep them to give away. I have people I promise fish. Yeah, well, I just told Skip he has to keep a couple for us.
And I mean, there's nothing like catching one. It's like a Volkswagen Beetle, dude. I mean, you get a nice big king, he's going to take you for a ride for a while.
Oh, yeah, he's going to send you down to your backing.
Well, so let me go a different route with you. So you guys fly fish. You guys head them up and you stick flies down, right? I, on the other hand, use a 10-foot pole. I have a 9 and 10-foot pole. I use a 9 and 10-foot pole with 14-pound test. Now, on that 14-pound test rig, I come down through and I hook on a spiral swivel, kind of like you do, Skip. Mine's a little on the bigger side. And then I run a 10-pound leader. Off that 10-pound leader, let me think. I wrote it all down here, so let me look at my phone. I put a big note together tonight to make sure I had it all set up and I gave the correct information. So on that, I'm sorry, it's a 12-pound leader. I had it all written here. We use a lead weight and a hook sack, an egg sack. So what we do is we just run a hook with a fake egg sack. They're like rubbery. You can buy them at any local shops up there, and we run them through. Now, the reason we like the egg sacks is not only is it so the salmon hit it, but brown trout and steelhead, again, follow through and hit the eggs.
Yep.
So we're always in hope something else smacks on top of it. Now, what we like is with the weight. So I could tell you what size weight, but I'd be lying to you because I think what size weight determines how fast the water's moving. It will always determine that, whether you're trout fishing, salmon fishing, whatever. I mean, so as you float down, hey Bob, as you float down and you're going down the river, your string floats behind, right? So you have this rubberized piece on. So that 12-inch or 18-inch leader, we try to stay within 12 and 18 inches, floats. So this is going to sound really stupid, but the whole time salmon are going like this in the water, right? So the design method behind this, and this was a guide who taught us this up there. This was not I don't use this rig. Both gentlemen died. It was a father and son. They were my brother's best friends. They taught us this. So, you said salmon get aggressive. So what they told us is put it on their nose and they can't say no. Right? So that's always what they told us. It ticks them off, and if they don't hit it that time, they're going to come back and get it to second or third, right? So as this comes down and it's floating, and once you hit where you want to be, you just lift and reel. And what that does is that flips the string back around right at the tip of their nose. So they see that swing by them and ticks them off. So you're throwing up again. Now, some people call that a lift method, but it's not lifting unless you're trying to lift the fish.
Right. And
that's where the rule changes.
Right.
So if you're trying to put it in the fish's mouth and lift the fish, that's lifting. If you're trying to, and this is what this guide explained to me, if you're trying to put it down in front of the fish's face to piss them off, that is not lifting. So you got to know the difference, and you got to make sure you're not doing the difference. Lifting, basically what they call lifting is when you come down and you're like, poof. It's basically trying to snag them in the mouth. That's lifting. Let's be honest.
Okay, so you're foul hooking straight up and down instead of to the side. That's all the difference is.
Right, that's a difference.
Yeah.
So this setup we use is basically based, once you get past that drift, I can kind of give a little pull and reel, and it whips the egg over, right? So, in hopes that it pisses them off. Doesn't always work. I've had great success, and I've had days where I wanted to know why I spent money and time to go salmon fishing. I'd be a liar.
And when you were saying, spawning salmon, their mouth is constantly like this. Constantly.
Opening. Yep.
It's nonstop once they start spawning. So that was the other from this biologist lady that I was watching. That fish isn't striking your fly. Its mouth is you get 10 fish in a hole and they're like this. Your fly floats past them. It's going in their mouth. But there are some people that say they do feed, some that say they don't feed. So, I mean.
So there was something else growing up that they made it seem like a bigger problem than it might be. And that's bears. Because bears and salmon, right? What are the odds that you guys have seen any out there?
I have never.
Not salmon.
I think, Chris, to be honest with you,
the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon.
I know this video.
You know this one too.
Which is exactly what we at John West want.
I see this, but I forgot how funny this is.
John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
I forgot how funny that was. Oh, look, an eagle. You know, Chris, you always bring a funny laugh to this. Thank you very much. That was hilarious. I literally have a tear running down my eye. That was awesome.
We made Mike leave. It was that funny. I think he peed himself.
Well, Mike was like, "What, Mike? You know why Mike left? That was him in that video.
That was him." Oh, man, I didn't know.
He had been salmon fishing a while. You broke his heart. He remembered fighting that bear to get that salmon back.
That was funny. But
this here's a movie that's being actually produced out at Sweet Arrow Lake, and the Laughing Rogue thing is sponsoring it. Yeah,
really?
I seen it posted. Yeah. I seen it posted on Facebook.
I decided to sponsor it from Laughing Rogue thing because I do all the horror stuff there, and I'm going to be on set. That they're going to have a whole bunch in there. 2 salmon carcass out of the house back in the 80s. Watched 5 different black bear turn their nose up at them. Huh.
Yeah, it's definitely. I listen. If I told you that I didn't walk trails along the rivers, especially I think it was the South Sandy, I ran into this a lot, and I was like, man, a bear had to be through here because it was just shredded through there. I'd be lying, but I think there's so many people, Chris. So I love the asset because a lot of people, I think, fear that, right? And I just have never seen one ever, even driving. Like, we scout the rivers out before we pick what river. We show up early in the morning. If nobody's there, we pick a spot, we go. If it gets real heavy crowded, we get back in the truck and we'll drive by for 2 hours till we decide where we're going to make sure we're less people, right? I hate people. I think a lot of people are ignorant. I don't hate all people, so I apologize. But I hate ignorant people. Not ignorant people. I don't like ignorance. I like having fun, enjoying life. And I think everybody that's out to ruin that, I have a problem with. So I can say that personally, I've never even seen one driving down the road eating a salmon.
No, neither did I. And I mean, when I used to go to Oak Orchards, that's back in the mountains. I mean, and I've been in there late October where, the spawn is almost done and there's dead fish laying everywhere. And I've never even seen a bear print in the mud.
Because, they say about when bear hunting, it's going to taste like what it's eating. And if they eat the salmon it's going to taste fishy.
Well, now you know why nobody shoots bear.
But if they don't eat the fish, where did this come from?
Ooh, I don't like hard questions. That's a hard question.
Yeah. You pissed them off.
I am in Mike left now. Skip, we're loners, man.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna make the show. But when you were saying like I know lots of guys that like they'll de-egg a salmon and then they'll come home and they'll make egg sacks with them and stuff. I've never fished with them, but I do make some artificial ones. Like I buy these lick'em lures. They're candy cane. There's like 5 eggs all tied together.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you can use. I've seen guys using sponges.
Yeah, I've seen that.
My boss, he uses a lot of them guys. So, what do you use for salmon? Piece of purple sponge. And it's like, what the,
I seen a video this morning that said the black sponge strikes again.
Yeah, but I've never used, but like a lot of guys will say like your purples, chartreuse, and stuff like. So I mean, everything I use is either purple or chartreuse. But so I tie some of these, which is just it's called an Estaz Plus.
Yeah.
The Estaz is the first fly, the plus is the egg.
Well, as I said, it looks just like an egg.
Yeah, it's called an Estaz Plus. But I tie tons of, and I tie them in purple, and I tie them in a chartreuse.
I like them. They look good.
Yeah, but I mean, that's all that and an egg sucking leech. But I mean, that's all I use. Or if I ain't getting nothing, so a friend of mine, he taught me like, I don't even know if I have any on this desk. I probably do somewhere. So I have some blue eggs. I don't know where they're at.
Is that from the Alaskan salmon?
Yeah.
Them blue ice waters.
Yeah. I knew I have some here. I just don't know where they're at. But what you do is you thread that egg through your hook and you run it up your line about 4 or 5 inches. And then the old guy that taught me, you take toothpicks with you and you just break a piece off and you stick it between your line and the egg and you just push it down in there. And then when salmon or steelhead come for that egg, they hit the hook first. That way, you know you got them because they've already swallowed that hook before they got to the egg. So I'll do that every once in a while. But
is that very successful for you? I've never tried that.
I have caught some. The one guy I used to go, that's all he does. And he was always hooking into a salmon or a steelhead. But I just had some of them blue eggs here. Oh, there they are. Here, Mr. Eggs. These are straight from Fat Nancy's.
Fat Nancy's. Been to Fat Nancy's many times.
Yeah, that's where these are from. But them I'll use. But I'll thread them up the hook about 5 or 6 inches. And I'll go to the tooth. They make like a hard rubber. I forget. I don't even know what they call them. But they make like a hard rubber piece that you can stick in between your line and that egg to keep it from sliding, which the old guy taught me just use a piece of toothpick.
So can't you just tie it?
No, they're squishy.
Oh, they're squishy.
They're real soft rubber. I mean, you can take one and squeeze it and just mush it.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking. Okay. So tying it would definitely be out. You'd ruin it. The string would pull through.
Yeah. But like them Estas Pluses, they're hard plastic.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I know a lot of guys, Bill and them go up and they fish a bobber with beads.
Yeah.
Now, I've never done that, but they fish a plug bobber basically like that there.
Yep. I mean, there's so many different, it's insane.
So the guy that taught my brother and I, the guides, they fished with a fly rod, a 10 or 11 or 12 foot fly. I mean, these things were immense.
Yeah.
And they put a regular reel on it.
Well, I've seen guys where they go with a fly rod and a fly reel, and they'll just run all monofilament on it. No fly line at all monofilament on it.
And I'm baffled by it, but I guess it makes sense too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's 20,000 different methods and styles, and
I don't know. I am baffled by the amount of different ways you see people fish a salmon.
Yeah.
And what makes me so baffled is that, you can't foul hook them. So everyone and their brother is trying to figure out how they can fish for these salmon.
Look at them guys.
Is it really that crowded there?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because I've seen the videos of you and Tommy and Uncle Barry, and it's not crowded where you guys are. But if it's like this, how do you guys even breathe? Much less.
I don't fish at Salmon River, buddy. That's why.
Dude, there. That there's absolutely nothing. I'll send you pictures of the trestle because I know we'll end up going to the trestle. I'll send you pictures there where you got 400 people in.
Oh my Lord!
In small, about half the size of a football field.
Take videos. A lot of videos of this stuff, Skip.
Yeah, I'm not. Again,
I wasn't. Get a video. If there's a lot of people, get a video and saying, check out how packed this. Anything you can do, just take. We only need minute clips.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was just trying to find some videos of where you guys are talking about, and
up there where you see,
packed.
I think that's what they call the town pool right there.
Yeah, right there. That's it.
Yeah, that's what they call a town pool.
That's nothing.
Yeah, you go to like Altmar, they're at the Altmar Bridge.
How big do they get?
Oh man.
Biggest one I ever caught was 50 inches.
The biggest one I ever caught was like 41.
I mean, we've caught some monsters.
And I mean, them thing they fight like the Dickens.
Right now, they're fresh. This is when they're
Yeah.
going to fight.
Yeah, you catch it. You know when you catch a fresh one, he'll spool you quick.
You
You ain't
catch a
got that
fresh
drag
salmon,
set.
you won't forget it.
Yeah, you ain't got that drag set tight enough. He's emptying your reel right out.
And let me tell you this. So I've done it. If you do a drift, you know, like we talked about drifting down, and you end up whacking one in the tail and your hook sticks by accident. Let me tell you what, all that string on your rod, you need to go get it back to the truck and start restringing. Because you ain't getting that one back. I did it. First time I ever went up there, Tommy said, "Hey, did you see that salmon come up in that hole over there?" I was like, "No." I said, "Let me go make a couple casts." I threw up in the half, drifting, threw up, drifting, threw up, drifted. My fifth, I was just ready to say, well, he must have meant to the next hole. And it went, and I didn't pull, I didn't reel, it was still in the drift process. It went, zzz, zzz. And I was like, "Tommy, I think I got one." And this sucker just took, man. People are running out the stream. Guys are yelling, "It's tail hook, it's tail hook." Going, every bit of string in that rod was history.
Yeah. And I mean, like, when you catch the zombies, they're just like dead weight. They still fight, but man, I cut my line. If I see I hooked a zombie, I cut the line right off. I ain't even touching it.
Yeah, because they're actually mushy.
Yeah, I grabbed the zombie already, and its tail just squished right off its body, and it swam.
No
away.
way.
Yeah, that's why they call them zombie trout. They're nasty.
Yeah, when we used to go up for the Browns, there were already tons of zombies in the river. But the objective was always to try and float your flies behind that zombie, because the steelhead don't know that thing left its eggs, or the Browns. They have no clue if it dropped eggs yet. But they will hang behind them waiting for eggs to drop. So the whole object is to get your lure or fly to float under and around them zombies. I don't know how many times I've hooked zombies, and it's like I mean, they look like cows, white and brown, black spots all over them. I just cut the line instantly. Yep, cut the line and read high.
Well, they say the best time to catch browns up there is actually, I mean, it starts now, but they say the best time is, what I read up on, is actually November, December.
Yeah, but
when it's bitter cold.
Yeah, yeah.
They say they come up and feed mainly after they're done laying. I've heard that many times, which is really weird. You would think they'd follow like a steelhead. And again, some do.
Yeah, but some get pushed in with them and they just go.
But it's just really weird to me that happens more late, you know?
Yeah. I'm still trying to find that picture of that brownie.
Dude, I love that video Chris put up. Just look at that. Look at that. That's exactly what they look like swimming in the water. You can actually see that red stripe, Chris. The whole bottom of the red going. Skip, you know what I need you to do for me while you're up there?
What?
I need you to take your GoPro and put it down in the water and film some salmon swimming. I literally, and I don't know how brave you are and how much, I don't know how far you're moving and walking, but I have a 6-foot GoPro on a stick here.
On a stick?
I have a 6-foot stick just to put it in the water and film. I don't know how brave you're feeling.
I'd be afraid I'd lose it or get stolen.
It's a $50 GoPro. It's one of them cheap ones. And it's on a 6-foot stick. I would love to get some good footage of salmon spawning. That would be really cool. So this video Chris has up now. It's one of our videos. That Skip and I took this video.
Yeah.
We actually took a GoPro on a rope and threw it in the water and drug it through the hole where the trout were. And this was the end result.
Yeah, I was looking for your salmon ones because I know I've seen the videos of it.
There's full salmon videos up. But they're old, man. I don't even know where they're at.
Well, yeah, they're not on the regular video thing because I'm trying to find them. That's what I've been doing.
Oh yeah, there's one where I actually threw up and it was funny because I threw up. As I threw up, this one come up in the shallow water, and the green fly went right in its mouth. You can watch it go right inside the salmon's mouth. On first cast, my first fish there, my first cast of that year, like like it was meant to be. And when it hit the mouth, the salmon took off. Well, you know what happened from there, right? Itself hooked itself. That was a neat video. Yeah, I'll have to dig that out. See if I can make a short of it or something.
Yeah, here. I found this brownie.
Oh, there you go.
Let's see. Where's Chris at in my phone? I know he's in here.
He's under Lover. BSO Lover.
Well, I use pet names.
Oh, sorry. my
He has his
bad.
own pet name.
Yo, there it is. I told you you'd find that, baby. I believe that was a coho.
Hey, Chris, I know you can hear me. I just sent you a picture through Messenger. But
so you can see our quality difference from our videos back then and our videos now.
Yeah.
Look at that brownie. Look at that, guys.
That was 2 years ago at St. Mary's Archery Club. That thing was, and it hit a little teeny rainbow warrior is the fly that he caught that on.
Dude, that's incredible. What a fish.
Yeah, and that's probably a small one.
Here.
There's some monsters.
There. Chris, rewind that a little bit, will you? So if you watch, you see me throw out. And right here, there's a salmon starting to come up, right? Just as he come up through that, he hit it. That was a nice one we caught that day. Now watch, he's got a Chris. Now listen, you see how he looks in the water there, Chris? Because I know you've never been salmon. You see how he looks sticking out the back like that?
Mm-hmm.
If they're spawning hard, they come out of that water and they sound like torpedoes. You just hear them go, and their back is over halfway out like that.
And what's funny though, if you hook one and lose it, that fish will jump 4 or 5 times after you catch it. As soon as it gets off, it'll jump 4 or 5 times out of the water. Yeah, what's that?
King.
Yeah.
That one's a king. That's not a zombie there. That one had some spunk left. I got lucky. He hit the shallow water. I didn't have to reel too hard once he was in that. They're in that shallow. They can't fight real hard.
Yep. And that's the trick to catching them. You want to try and walk backwards and bring them into the shallows.
Right here, I hooked one down in the bottom of these. Man, it was deep in there. Look, there he is. That one there was a big one I had on. I lost him too. So this here, I think this was a North Sandy, this one.
It was in 1970 if you look at the timestamp.
Yeah, as you can tell, I don't pay close attention to my...
Back then, you were not up on the videography. And
no. Well, if you look at the quality, look how rough the quality is of these videos.
I mean,
those are the old $40 GoPros, you know?
In 1970.
In 1970, yeah. I didn't know they had GoPros in the 70s, but, you know.
They did.
There was a big coho caught somewhere in here. Tommy caught a big coho. Look, snap me off, Skip. See it?
Yeah.
Now, there's that egg. Did you see that egg? Right there. That's all it is. That's all we use.
Is that the one you had to run in for?
That's the one that showed. Look at this. Yeah, watch. I thought it was a brown trout. When it first come up through, we thought it was a brownie. I said, don't you let that go. I was yelling in the creek. Tommy was hammering the salmon. That dude can catch a salmon anywhere.
But that's the kind of thing you need. Somebody video and
Well, when you go with a bunch of guys, it's nice because you can video your buddy if he gets one.
mm-hmm.
And then if your buddy has a camera, he can video you. That was always a nice part that I liked. You know what I mean?
So do you use these rocks as like a channel?
Well, they lay under them.
Mhm.
They'll lay under them. Certain areas they'll just
Ooh.
lay under.
You see that?
Oh yeah, you come right out the water.
That's pretty cool. Sorry, I'll stop it.
That's Booper. That's Booper over in the other
Was
end.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, usually me, Tommy, Booper, and Twig go up. So I know we're at our hour mark. Actually, we hit it dead on. I thought we had a great discussion, great topic. I'm going to let you guys with one final story. So if you're listening, you got to listen hard. So I was invited to go salmon fish with my brother, Booper, and Twig last year because they called me the fish punder. So Skip almost spit his drink out. So they Twig had on this real big salmon, right? And it was swimming in the shallows, and it was super, super shallow. And I went to, I think this is the spot right here, actually, all the roots.
I think it is the spot. Yeah.
So this might even be the video, Chris. Yeah, right here. You see it's in the real shallows like that? So anyway, that was the exact spot I'm talking about. And it was right there. You see how it was like 3/4 of the way out and hardly moving? I'm fat. I went to bend down and get it. And when I went to bend down and get it, I started to trip. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fall. So I went to punt it up on the shore. And I missed and kicked. And listen to this, I missed and kicked the string. So when I kicked the string, what happened? I broke the hook right off. Twig didn't catch a fish for 2 days. He was livid. I thought he was going to, let's just say I thought I was getting stabbed with a fishing rod. So we had a little bit of problem with that one. And they didn't invite me back because of that. They say that's not why. They say, oh, we just didn't think he could come. But I call horse crap, man.
Yeah.
They nicknamed me the fish punder. I call horse crap. This might be the one. This might be it, guys. That's it. Twig fell to the ground. Look. That's the one. Did you see Twig jump on the ground? Watch again. Watch in the back. Look at Booper's face. Booper's like this. That was it. That was the fish punder. Yeah, they hated me for that one. I'm not gonna lie. I still to this day think it's freaking hilarious. I told them, well, maybe you should carry a net next time.
Yeah.
They didn't think it was funny. I don't know. Listen, I mean, they're probably more mad because they're probably more mad because me and Tom are the only two that caught all our fish both days. We limited out both days, and they were furious. They couldn't catch nothing, so they probably just hated us for that, I think. But
I was going to ask that too. Is there a limit on how many you can get?
3 multiple species.
Yeah, 3.
So you can have 1 steelhead, 1 salmon, 1 brown trout. You can have 3 steelhead. You can have 3 salmon.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in what you're in and after.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I think it's a great show. I thought we did really well.
Yeah,
Mike has a sick kid, so Mike kind of disappeared.
That's why he was.
We didn't know that was.
To him.
Yeah, I figured something came up. He said he had a sick kid, so Mike, we'll be praying for your kid, bud, and hope everything goes well. And he turns out okay. Hopefully it's just sick. That's usually what it is with kids. They just get a little bit of bacteria or virus.
Yeah,
they're down a few days, so we'll say a little prayer for him. I do want to mention that Interlock Broadheads is going to be part of Big Sexy Outdoors here. We're excited. We're going to be putting them in as a sponsor. Super excited. They're sending us some products, and we cannot wait to get these products in and look at them and test them. And we're excited. This is something we're really excited for. So I want to give a shout out and say thank you to Corey Brosman and his team and Interlock Broadheads. And we're going to call it a night. So on that, I'm going to say Chris out, Skippy out, and Big Sexy out. Have a great night.
See you
God
guys.
bless.